I'm up here at Wallace Falls, and I just wanted to tell you something that I think is super cool. It was such a blessing to me. So a few months ago, I had decided that I needed to get a full hip replacement. I had tried everything. I went through PRP. I went through injections. I did ice baths. I did everything that I could possibly think of. And all these things, all the medicines that I found were fantastic, and they worked well. They helped me to continue on for a couple of years. But it come to a point where it was just simply bone on bone. It was too late. There was nothing that I knew that I could do to fix it. So, as it were, I went into the doctor and I wanted to get what's called a resurfacing. And the doctor says to me, no, you actually need a full replacement. So I asked him, I said, why? And he said to me, he goes, well, I can see in there. He's been a doctor and doing this profession for 40 years. He goes, I can see that somewhere along the line, probably when you're a kid, you had an accident. And your femoral head started losing blood and started to deteriorate and die. He goes, now, best case scenario with people just like you, he goes, it healed, but at that point it wasn't the way it should have been. So instead of like looking like a strong, solid joint, it actually looked more like that. And so over time, it just wore my cartilage away. And I asked my mom, I said, hey, when was the first time that you recall me limping around? And she said, well, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12. You got in an accident on a three-wheeler or a snowmobile or something. And so we took you to the doctor and they said, oh yeah, looks like he has a short leg. They adjusted me and then they give me a heel lift. Well, it helped. But I do remember now that she mentions it, having this sharp pain in my hip. And every year I would have some issues, and it progressively got worse and worse and worse to the point where I couldn't even stay in bed with my wife a full night because I would have to roll into weird positions in order to sleep, to stretch, and I was always constantly waking her up. And every step of every day was just pain, and work was awful, driving was awful. So eventually I went into the doctor and decided, okay, let's do this thing. And what is interesting to me is that how they do a hip replacement is they literally chop off your femur, the femoral head, and then they take this prosthetic and they pound it down into there, and then they let the muscles grow back around it. Well, I had this crazy, amazing epiphany from that. God told me, hey, look, none of your own fault, you have been walking around on a faulty leg your whole entire life. What this helps me to realize is that we are faulty people and we need some help and we need a savior. And actually, God just showed me, by no moral fault of your own, you have been walking on this thing. And eventually it wears out. And God is so good and so gracious that he doesn't try to fix our old life. He chops it off and gives us a brand new life. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited about the things that I get to do now. Look at this. Such a beautiful place that I'm at, all because God has given me a new chance, a new life, and a new hip. All right, have a blessed day.